Welcome back everyone to my vlog that I have started probably about a month or so ago. And I have a new addition. It's my plant. We're trying to change the background a little bit and add some things as we go. So I hope you like the plant. And today we're going to be talking about the coronavirus. Again, another week of the coronavirus. Well, it's actually consumed so much of our lives. But this week we're going to talk about the coronavirus and marriages and relationships, because obviously it impacts so many areas of our lives. So today I thought I'd focus in on relationships. Now, first thing you need to know is that when we are under stress, which we all are, myself included, when we're under stress, certain aspects of our personalities are magnified. They're intensified. So if you're the type of person that is a neat freak, you're even more of a neat freak at this time because of your stress level. It increases our fears, it increases our insecurities when we're under stress. And sometimes it brings back memories from the past that might have influenced or impacted our lives. I don't know if you realize this, but during stressful times, and during this time in particular, domestic violence rises. And of course, divorces also rise. An interesting footnote is that during the holidays, when people are on top of each other or exposed to each other, especially couples that are in a stressful or dysfunctional, unhealthy marriage, it makes it very difficult for them to get through the holiday season. But often what happens is divorce attorneys get a lot of phone calls in the month of January. In fact, many people file divorce in the month of January after that holiday season. Maybe they wanted to wait till after the holidays, but maybe that holiday season added stress to their relationship that was already stressful. So for those that are having struggles in their marriage, this is just adding more stress and more pressure on their relationship. So I wanted to give you all some tips, and I wanted to give you some ways in which you can approach this stressful time with greater confidence and with greater comfort. So I was trying to come up with a good acronym, and I was trying to figure out what would be appropriate, and the one I came up with, so here's the word that we're going to be focused on, and the word is grace. Grace. Breathe grace, because grace is what we all need right about now. We all need forgiveness. We all need to be able to not be so critical and so hard on the people around us, especially our spouse. This is the time where we really want to cut each other some slack. So that's why I chose the word grace. So let me start with the G part of grace. So the G part of grace is gratitude. Gratitude. What are you grateful for about your spouse, about your partner? What is it about your partner that you love, that you appreciate, that you respect, that you admire or like? That's where I'd like you to try and focus. Because a lot of people, they're very critical. They're very critical of their partner. We tend to be hardest on the people we love the most, and we tend to have high expectations on the people that are around us, like our spouse, our children. Did you realize that when we say a negative comment or when we criticize, that it takes 4 positive statements to balance out one negative statement? 4 positive statements to balance out one negative statement. Think about that. The second thing is the R on grace. The R is to recognize, to realize, and to reinforce others' feelings. We all feel anxious, fearful, scared, maybe frustrated, maybe angry at what's going on right now in this world. Name it, acknowledge it, and be able to talk about it with your spouse. Be able to validate their feelings. And that basically means accept and acknowledge each other's feelings. Remember, I often will tell people, emotions connect people. So when you talk about emotions, you're connecting on a deeper level, on a better level. Believe it or not, there is such a thing as crisis intimacy. There is such a thing as being drawn closer to each other at a time of crisis. But it requires us to be able to acknowledge and accept each other's feelings. Number 3 is the A, alone time. We need alone time. We really need alone time. So what I would suggest, especially if you have small children, take turns, maybe going for a run or going for a walk or a bike ride while the other spouse watches the children, and then swap out. Maybe alone time means I want to have a conversation with a friend or a family member. Maybe that means going into your closet and closing it while you have that alone time, and your spouse takes responsibility for the children during that time. It might mean that you want to read a book. It might mean that you want to read the Bible. It might mean that you want to spend time with God. But have that alone time, because we also need that alone time. It's really important to have alone time. The next one, number 4, it's the C word, and there's so many C's. There's conflict, there's communication, there's compromise. Communicate with respect. Don't communicate words that are hurtful, that are mean, especially not at this time when we're under such stress. We're like living in a pressure cooker. It's a stressful time. Don't communicate words that are hurtful. Those kind of things just push the other person away. If there is conflict, I would suggest you make it time limited. All right, if there's conflict, set your watch. Let's do a 10-minute conflict conversation. Talk it through. Maybe you have to agree to disagree. At the end of 10 minutes, it's time for us to move on. It's time for us to let go of that conflict for right now. And compromise. That's something that's so important, is to be able to compromise. And part of that is to have respect for your differences, for your different perceptions, your different perspectives, and come to some sort of compromise that both of you can live with. The last one is number 5, and this is E, and for me it's exercise. So exercise is something that I love. It's something that is my therapy. Whether it's going for a run or doing a workout, lifting some weights, but exercise is so important. And it's so important to have a routine, have a schedule for exercise, for work, for your daily activities. Maybe you want to use time to clean a bedroom out, or a closet, or a drawer, something that a project that you've been putting off. But this is a good time to work on a project. Now, something that my wife and I have been doing is we've been watching either a TV program or a movie, and here's where compromise comes in. She has me watching the HGTV channel, which I don't normally watch. Normally, I prefer ESPN, but obviously there's not a whole lot of sports on, at least live sports, that we can watch. So I will watch a HGTV program, and she will watch a movie like Rudy, which is one that I love, and it's a sports movie. And I'm sure that you and your partner can work out some sort of compromise. Remember, we're all in this together. Work as a team. Work together. Think about riding this bicycle built for two, and one of you is on the front, the other person is on the back. And it's so important that we're in sync. It's so important that we're working together and pedaling together. Not where one person is pedaling while the other person is braking, or one person just has their feet up and is not pedaling at all. We want to work together. We will get through this difficult time, but let's get through it by working together as a team. And your marriage is one of the most important teams that you're on. Until next time, Dr. Tony Furry.